Welcome to Fantasia, home of the Melodious. My name's Azallea, and today, gonna be bringing you guys an update to my Melodious deck. And before I begin, I just want to give you guys a huge thank you for helping me reach 800 subscribers. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see your continued support in the future. So for the deck, let's just jump right into it. First of all, we're playing 3 copies of Aria the Melodious Diva. Now, Aria, the main monster of the deck, when she's special summoned, gives all of our Melodious monsters on the field battle immunity and targeting immunity, which means that most of the forms of removal and effect negation in the game really don't bother us. I bumped her up from 2 to 3 because I really wanted to have another copy in the deck. First movement solo, Ties of the Brethren, all summoned from the deck. I just really hated drawing 2 of them and not having the 3rd copy to be able to summon, so putting her back at 3. She's also one of the bigger main deck monsters in the deck, so not too bad to just normal summon her. And even if you do normal summon her, you can always use her in conjunction with Cannon, which we run 3 copies of. Cannon, if you control another Melodious monster, allows herself to special summon from the hand, although you can only do it once per turn, which is really stupid, but we can't do anything about that. Cannon, I bumped her up from 2 to 3 because I really wanted to see her in the hand. I really wanted to be able to special summon her, make rank 4 plays. I also really wanted another target for Ties of the Brethren. I ended up cutting Sonata from the deck just because she's a level 3 and that kind of hindered like my plays. So if I had Sonata and had Ties of Brethren, really couldn't do anything with that, so bumped Cannon up to 3 to compensate for that loss. Okay, so next off, we're running 3 copies of Soprano, the Melodious Songstress. Now, Soprano is the main monster that we're going to be using to fusion summon to bring out Sherberta and Bloom Diva from our extra deck. And when she is special summoned, you can actually target a Melodious monster in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, just helps you recycle some materials, and really great for bringing Cannon back to be able to special summon, make rank 4 plays, make more fusions, so there's that. Really great, and I definitely recommend running 3, should never run any less, especially because she is also a great target for Ties of the Brethren. Speaking of more targets, we are running 1 copy of Tam Tam the Melodious Diva. I believe she is absolutely mandatory in this deck because of Ties of the Brethren. When she is special summoned while you control another Melodious monster, you can add a polymerization from your deck or your graveyard to your hand, which is really important because she basically allows you to run 1 polymerization and you can just recycle it over and over without needing to run multiples and then clog with them, so really great in that regard. Next off, we're running 2 copies of Honest, another Ties of the Brethren target because he is a light level 4 fairy type monster. He's also able to help us get over big monsters on the field without having to go into our extra deck. So really great form of, I guess, removal. It's also a great hand trap to have. Next off, we're running 1 copy of Summoner Monk. I only run 1 copy because I don't have enough spells to warrant 2. So 1 is working really fine for me. He's really great for bringing out any level 4 monster you see above, straight from the deck just by pitching a dead spell, like first movement solo, Ties of the Brethren after you've already set up. He just facilitates more rank 4 plays, and just really great overall. And to wrap up the monster count, we are playing 2 copies of Maxi. Special summoning now is just rampant. Definitely need the Maxis to help you gain some advantage and draw, especially because this deck is a little slower than most others, so you definitely need the speed. So yeah, that's it for the monsters. Now let's go into the spell cards. So for the spell cards, starting off with 3 copies of First Movement Solo. Now, First Movement Solo, if we control no monsters, allows us to special summon 1 level 4 lower Melodious monster straight from our deck. Normally you're going to bring out an Aria, but if you have Ties of the Brethren in hand, you might bring out a Soprano or something else like that instead, and then use Ties on that monster and bring out 2 more. Speaking of Ties of the Brethren, of course we're running 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren. Don't mind the proxy there, I have the 3rd coming in the mail. But Ties of the Brethren, basically you target a level 4 or lower monster that you control, and then special summon 2 monsters from your deck that have different names from each other and that monster that have the same type, attribute, and level. And then you cannot conduct your battle phase or special summon for the rest of the turn, but that doesn't matter because when we bring out Aria, our field is basically established and we're almost guaranteed to see another turn, and we should be fine to go off on our next turn. So it just really adds a lot of speed to the deck and adds a new dimension to our play. So next off, we were running 2 copies of Instant Fusion. Really want to see the Norden. It's really great for setting up, actually. And because I run a lot more rank 4s, like Focus, especially with Trap Tricks Rafflesia, I really want to make that first turn. So 2 Instant Fusions were helping a lot with bringing out Norden for the rank 4 plays. Next off, we were running 2 copies of Twin Twisters just for the extra spell and trap removal. Solemn Strikes, Dimensional Barriers. You always want to hit those. You don't want those in your way, preventing you from going off and summoning. So there's that. And if they do flip something like Dimensional Barrier and they call Fusion, you don't have to worry too much because with Arya on the field, we're basically guaranteed to see another turn, and we'll be completely fine just sitting there for a little bit. Okay, next off for the one-ofs, we play 1 copy of Polymerization because Tam Tam can search and recycle it. No need to play any more than that. And then we play 1 copy of Soul Charge, which helps us rebuild our fields, helps us set up first turn if we really need to. Really great for setting up things like Tsukiyomi, Fairy Cheer Girl, multiple XYZ's first turn, and getting us some good draws. Oh boy, don't mind the lawnmower in the background if you guys do hear it. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we play 1 copy of Raigeki, just to help us clear fields. Most of our monsters are really small, and we have a hard time getting over things like Blue Eyes and all that other stuff. So Raigeki really does help clear boards and help us push for damage. Next off, we're running 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, just for the consistency, and that does it for the spell cards. Next off, we're going to go into the trap cards. So for the trap cards, of course, we have to have my boy Mistake. 3 copies of Mistake, a really great card. Prevents both players from basically searching, and since the only card in our deck that really searches is Tam Tam, this just doesn't hurt us at all, especially because you're probably going to search with Tam Tam on your first turn with Ties of Brethren, bring her out, search the Polymerization, then you set the Mistake, and on your opponent's turn, you can flip this up and prevent them from going off and searching, which puts you in a really strong position. Okay, next off we play 2 copies of Powerful Rebirth, basically a Call the Haunted for level 4 or lower monsters, except that when this card leaves the field, your monster stays. So if they Twin Twister this thing, if they MST this thing, you could always chain it, bring back an Arya, bring back a Soprano, whatever, and the monster gets to stay on the field, even if this leaves. So it's just a little recovery play that we have in terms of traps. And next off, we play 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. Just wanted some effect negation in the deck. And Breakthrough Skill is really great right now because you could always use it on your turn. So this is basically 4 negations in 2 cards. So on your turn, you could always banish it, negate something like a Crystal Wing, negate things like if people are still playing Cosmos, Dark Ladies, stuff like that, so you can still go off. Also helps, bait out things like ABC, Buster Dragon, and all that good stuff. So next off for the traps, we were playing Bottomless Trap Hole, Rafflesia Target, and a Floodgate Trap Hole, also Rafflesia Target. This is actually really great right now because you could flip down things like Bujinte Tsukiyomis, and then all the ABC players' materials get stuck under the Tsukiyomi, so they can't make ABC Dragon Buster. You can also flip down tuners, you can flip down the second level 4 or something, second level 3, so they can't XYZ, they can't Synchro Summon, all that stuff. So really great card, and it flips them down permanently, so think of it as like a Quaking Mirror Force. And yeah, if they Pendulum Summon 5 things, you can flip them all face down, your opponent really just can't play the game at that point, so that's really great. Okay, so next off we were running 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness, of course, prevent our opponent from playing, and then we wrap things off with a Solemn Warning, just to negate the summons and prevent our opponent from establishing stronger fields, stronger boards, stronger monsters, also great for negating an entire Pendulum Summon. Okay, so that does it for the trap cards. That does it for the main deck. Next off, I'm going to go into the side deck. So for our side deck, we are playing 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, Ghost Ogre, hand trap, really good, and if you draw it off max C, even better. When your opponent's going off, you can disrupt their combos. It's great against decks like Metaphors, especially right now, but when DDDs and stuff, they start gaining more popularity, you can hit their Dark Contracts and things like that as well, Genghis, Alexander, all that good stuff. So Ghost Ogre is just really good for just blowing up your opponent's monsters, your opponent's field spells, continuous spell and traps. And yeah, so next off we were running my favorite card in the side deck, Barrier Statue of the Heavens. Now, this card, when I went to locals, just won me so many games, and especially in my last game against Metaphos Yang Zing, when I summoned this, he couldn't do anything. The only thing he could summon was Chiwen, and Chiwens, of course, get banished when they get back from the graveyard, so basically just stopped all of his plays and won with just that card. You can summon it off Ties of the Brethren because it's a level 4 light fairy type monster. You could bring out Honest alongside of it, return the Honest to your hand so you have some protection as well, so you can't just normal summon and run over it. It's just a really, really great card for the deck. Summoner Monk can summon it too. Okay, next off we were playing 2 copies of Thunder King Ryo. Now Thunder King is basically a mistake but on a 1900 attack body. And also what makes it really great is when your opponent tries to special summon like XYZ summon or Synchro summon or something, you can always tribute this card and then negate the summon and destroy that monster. So really, really strong in terms of stunning your opponent. If you open Thunder King alongside of Shiberta and other stuff, you basically won the game at that point. Okay, and then for monster removal, we play 3 copies of Kumongous the Sticky String Kaiju. Don't run Gamma Seals because it's a level 8 and this deck has problems attacking over monsters sometimes. So most of the time if you do give him a Kaiju, the Kaiju's probably going to remain on the field, which is fine. But 2400 is something that Shiberta can attack over because she is 2400 and can crash with it if you have an Arya, or you can just banish 3 cards, bring up to 3000 and destroy it that way. So really great to have, and it's a level 7, so Blue Eyes players can XYZ with it and things like that. Next off, we play 1 copy of Pot of Acquisitiveness. This is really great because Shiberta can banish a lot of monsters, so technically we can banish our own stuff and shuffle it back, but most likely what you're going to do is if you banish things like ABC parts, and your opponent's going to bring them back with something like Union Scramble or whatever that trap card is, you can always Pot of Acquisitiveness, shuffle all of them back into the deck, and then they don't have any more options at that point, plus you get a free draw. Okay, so next off we were playing 2 copies of Pendulum Storm. Pendulum Storm is absolutely amazing, really underrated card and underutilized right now, especially with Magispectors and Metaphos and stuff. You can always pop their Pendulum Scales and pop like their, Metaphos counter. You can pop Magispector Pendulum Scales, you can pop their trap cards, their counter trap, their Magispector Tornado and stuff, so really great in that regard, and definitely worth siding if you like to go second after the dice roll. Okay, next off, we were playing 3 copies of System Down. This is absolutely amazing against ABCs, any machine decks really. If people are still playing Cosmos, this is really good against them too. You pay 1,000 life points, you banish all machine type monsters on your opponent's side of the field and in their graveyard, so just really great for, basically it's a blowout card against those decks. And last but not least, we play 1 copy of Time Space Trap Hole, just as a Rafflesia target. Would probably side this in against Pendulum decks and things, just so that if they try to Pendulum summon 1 to try to bait out the Rafflesia or something, especially Kirin, you can always send the Kirin back into the deck, or at least bait it out so it returns back to the hand, and then your opponent has already used the Pendulum summon, so they can't summon it again, so you're free to go off next turn without that stupid Kirin on the field. Okay, so that does it for the side deck. Next off, we're going to move into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, starting off, we play 1 copy of Traptrix Rafflesia. Now, we have 3 trap hole targets between the main and the side deck, so definitely worth playing her, and she's pretty easy to bust out first turn with 3 cannons and 2 instant fusions and access to Norden. We play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, sometimes comes in handy just stopping all of the graveyard effects. Play 1 copy of Bujinte Tsukiyomi because we play level 4 light monsters. We did it first ABCs, so back off. We like the draw power as well. Okay, next off we play 1 copy of Fairy Cheergirl, just really great draw power, and she requires 2 level 4 fairies. Norden is a fairy, so if you Norden into something, you could always Exquisite into this for a quick draw, especially when you're setting up first turn. Okay, next off we play 1 copy of Starleash Paladynamo, really great as like a pseudo-giant hand-ish, although he does float into a draw, which is why I like playing him. I play 1 copy of Diamond Direwolf, just in case our opponent's main decking things like anti-spell fragrance and stuff. You can normal summon a monster, special summon cannon, make Diamond Direwolf pop that anti-spell, and go off from there. We play 1 copy of Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. God, that's a mouthful. Okay, just for spinning cards, obviously, Toolbox extra deck. Okay, we have Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon next. Really great because this deck, as I've mentioned before, has a difficulty getting over larger monsters like Blue Eyes and big beat sticks. Dark Rebellion just helps alleviate that pain. And speaking of that as well, we play the Utopia package of Utopia, and then you overlay into the Lightning to smack over things that you normally wouldn't be able to smack over. So that does it for the XYZs. Next off, we're going to go into the fusions. So for the fusions, we were running one copy of Elder Entity Norden, just for our instant fusion targets. Really great. We run 2 instant fusions and 1 Norden, obviously because Norden's limited, but you only really need to see the first instant fusion. The second one you can pitch with Summoner Monk, Twin Twisters. It's not really important. You just need to see the instant fusion as soon as possible. Okay, next off we run one copy of Bloom Diva, the Melodious Choir. Bloom Diva is just amazing, although she does require a Melodious Maestra monster as material, which we have in the form of Shiberta, but Bloom Diva basically just doesn't let us take battle damage when you're battling with her, and after damage calculation and stuff like that, you can activate her effect if she battles a special summon monster, inflict damage between the original attack of her and the original attack of the monster that she battled, inflict that damage to the opponent, and then you can destroy that monster. So many effects in one, so much protection. She cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So if you summon her alongside Arya, you basically won the game if you're going up against a deck that has big beat sticks. Okay, and then the star of the extra deck, we run 3 copies of Shiberta, the Melodious Maestra. Now, Shiberta on either player's turn allows us to target 3 cards in either player's graveyard and banish them, and then she gains 200 attack for each, bringing her up to a big beefy 3000 attack. And under the protection of Arya, she's just a huge threat to the opponent, and being able to banish things like Metaphos Fusion, Blue Eyes Stones, Blue Eyes White Dragons, you could banish ABC components. You can banish so many things. Burning Abyss cards, Phantom Knight cards. So many decks now rely on the graveyard, and she is just the perfect counter to all of them. And that does it for the extra deck, and that does it for the deck profile. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Melodious content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.